What's up, y'all? Kobe Games here, and today we're going to talk about laning in Valve's new game, Deadlock. I'm excited to talk about this concept. It's something that is very familiar to me as somebody who comes from Dota, and while I'm not perfect at it and the lanes are different and probably not even very good at it yet, to be honest, I definitely think I have some things I can talk about, some things that I've noticed and learned. So I'm going to try to break it down into sections, and I will talk about those sections briefly, as quickly as I can, as quickly as possible, and hopefully this will be helpful to you. I am getting all of my information from either playing the game or from a FAQ, a frequently asked questions, that was on the Deadlock Discord channel. So if you, that's where it was posted. It's on Google Docs. I'm sure you could just Google Deadlock FAQ/glossary, and you should be able to find what I'm looking at. It's got incredible resources and it's pretty simple to read, and it goes much more in depth. So I'd give that a look if you're interested in the game and this video doesn't make sense. The laning stage in Deadlock is exactly 10 minutes. Obviously, that can be changed. You can change that. You don't have to stay in the lane for 10 minutes. You can leave if you want to. But the reason I say 10 minutes is because for the first 10 minutes of the game, Deadlock shares souls, which souls is the major form of currency in this game, among two people in a particular AoE. So if there are two people in a lane, you're dual laning, which typically there will be two lanes with two people and two lanes with one person. Those lanes with two people, they will share the souls of the creeps that they last hit and the orbs that they claim, as well as deny. They both get full souls. So that's why I consider the laning phase 10 minutes. Last hits, denies, why are they important? What are they? How do you balance that with harass and poke? So those are all great questions. Last hitting and denying is one of the most important mechanics in the game. The denying aspect comes directly from Dota, but last hitting is just a very common MOBA mechanic. So if you play MOBAs, you know what these are already. Basically, you don't get any gold or XP just from being in the vicinity of like dying creeps or troopers, as they're called in this game, but rather you get the gold and the XP from being the one to deliver the killing blow, at least for the first 10 minutes in the laning stage. And then after you kill a creep, meaning you land the last hit on the body of the creep will shimmer right when you kill it. It will spawn an orb that flies up into the air that you can then also last hit. If you shoot the orb, it secures the souls for you. If you let the orb expire, it will also secure the souls for you, but that's dangerous because your enemy can shoot the orb as well, and if they do that, they're credited with a deny, meaning that they get those souls. So it's really important to manage your magazine. I believe that's the correct terminology. Not a gun guy, so if I got that wrong, I apologize. But I believe it's important to manage your ammo. Make sure you have bullets, rounds in the clip so that you can secure those souls. This is something that I'm still working on and still trying to get better at. And it leads into the next topic, which is harassing. Harassing the enemy heroes in lane is super important. It's invaluable because not only do you force them to spend money on regen items, but you can get them to a kill threshold, right? You keep their health low, you get them to a kill threshold, and you create a situation where you might be able to capitalize on their low health and secure a kill for yourself. So harassment is good for those reasons, but it's also good because while you're harassing and poking the enemy, you can stop them from last hitting creeps like I was doing right there. And if they can't get the last hit on the creep, then they're taking damage. And if they do go for the last hit on the creep, then they're taking damage. So I said that wrong. If they go for the last hit on the creep, they're taking damage. And then if they don't, and they're not taking damage because they're so busy dodging your spell, you're not worried about it because they're not getting the last hit and they're not denying. So effective trades are super important. Part of the way to get, well, we can go into that in the next section, but effective trades are very important in the game. Another important thing to know when it comes to last hitting and denying is that if you melee creeps in the game, the orb doesn't float up above them. So if you melee a creep for the last hit, the creep will automatically die and grant you the souls for the last hit and the souls for the orb. So if you're in a 1v1 situation, or you're in a situation where you have bullied the enemy hero out of the lane, you can conserve ammo that way, or just simply, maybe you take a little bit of harass, but you really want to secure yourself the last hit. I just tried to do it there and missed, so there are some negatives for going for that last hit as well, because sometimes the creep will despawn and you don't get it in time if you're a ranged hero like I was playing here. Lane items and shops. So another really important thing in the laning phase is the shop. Every lane has a shop just beside their guardian. The guardian is the tower, basically the tier 1 tower, the first line of defense. It's the thing I'm shooting at right now. That guardian is, when it dies, the shop goes away. So it's really important for you to protect that guardian, which is another reason why you want to make sure you always have somebody in lane. If you're a solo lane, most likely you are not going to leave your lane in the first 10 minutes. I do leave my lane in this game just because I ended up killing the guardian and I saw a rotation opportunity. I took it. I bullied Raiden. That's not his real name, but that's what I'm calling him. He's a lightning hero. I bullied him out of the game, or out of the lane, and I think I'm going to kill him right here. Yeah, I do. And so he wasn't in the lane at all, and I decided to go help some of my other lanes. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or a bad idea. That's something I'm still learning about, and something that I won't be covering in this video is rotations, but hopefully I'll be able to cover that in another video as I get a feel for the game and as metas sort of start to develop. Going back to the shops though, those shops are super important because they mean that you don't have to go all the way back to base, and you have more time to farm creeps and farm these boxes and, like urns that spawn all over the map that give you permanent upgrades to your hero. So you want to keep your guardian alive and keep your uptime at maximum, be as efficient as possible. Super important to consider. You also are going to be spending a lot of time at the shop buying items, just simply because it's really important to get these early game 500 soul items. You don't typically want to skip them. Okay, so make sure you keep that guardian up, make sure you stay in lane, and you'll be more efficient as a result. Movement in lane. This kind of goes with harassment, but I just want to talk about stamina briefly. And basically, I just want to say that it's really important. Stamina as a resource comes back really quickly. I like to think about it as like energy if you're using a rogue, or if you're used to rogue-like classes. It's not quite mana, but it ties directly to your movement, right, and not your abilities. And what I really love about it is that you can use this to trade effectively, and or to dodge when opponents trying to poke and harass, dodge skills, and so on and so forth. So it's really important to use your stamina. It recharges extremely quickly. And a small tip that you might not have known, I didn't know until I started reading this fact that I told you guys about. And I don't think I do it once this game. If you're sliding, so while you're sprinting or moving quickly, you press control and you slide on the map, you have unlimited ammo for the duration of your slide. So I'd say for like 1.5, 2 seconds almost sometimes, maybe just 1.5, you get unlimited ammo, and you can utilize that to input some extra damage into a guardian, or to do, there's some heroes where it benefits more than others. They have maybe particularly small mags, and it's great on those heroes, right? So you can trade a little bit more effectively than what your opponent might be expecting you to be able to do, so, or be capable of. So something to consider. Lastly, we're just going to talk about neutrals and jungling, another important part of the lanes, as well as the temporary buff spawns. Here's a map of all the jungle locations, and there's also the buff spawn locations here. Jungling is and should be a supplement to your game. So this is not like League of Legends where you have a dedicated jungler. This is definitely much more like Dota, where the jungle is a supplement to your income. But the neutral creeps are actually worth less than the troopers, the creeps in the lane. So you want to be in the lane as often as possible, because those lane minions are worth more gold. The jungle camps are worth less gold. However, if you have downtime, if you've already accomplished some objectives and you don't want to put yourself out of position, the jungle camp is a great alternative to keep yourself gaining money. I do believe, again, in those first 10 minutes that the jungle camps share souls, so it's something that you can tackle with your lane partner if your lane is pushed and you're not really into denying, or maybe, like I said, you just don't want to be out of position. So make sure that that's something that you're looking at and something you're keeping your lane partner on, doing with you as well. The easy jungle camps are split into 3 different difficulties: easy, medium, and hard. The easy camps spawn at 2 minutes, and the hard and medium camps both spawn at 7. And then they have respawn timers, and the respawn timers for these are 4, 6, and 8 minutes respectively. So you want to make sure that I guess you can kind of time that, but typically you'll see the arrows, they'll pop back up on the map when the jungle camps spawn. So if you're, these spots here where the jungle camps are, just get familiar with those. You'll be good to go. And then the final thing I want to talk about in the lane is just these temporary buff spawns, which you can see here. These buff spawns are, they spawn 4 different buffs. They're basically runes in Dota 2. You can go grab them. They can buff your mag size and your fire rate, your regeneration and your health, your spirit damage and cooldown reduction, things like that. And you want to just go grab them every so often. They can help you secure a kill, or if you're transitioning to the early game and you're rotating and you're making things happen across the map, you want to pick up these buffs on your way. So just another thing to be aware of and consider as you're laning. So yeah, all right. So hopefully that helps. I know it's a lot of information in a relatively short amount of time, but watch through it a couple of times if you need. Take some notes, and like I said, check out that Discord channel for awesome guides, helpful tips, really great people in there. And also just check out the Google document, the FAQ. There's a ton of information, and it's real simple, easy to read. So give that stuff a look through. Let me know if there's something else you want me to go over. I am interested in talking about the soul urn, the mid boss, some of the other objectives in the game, but I'm not sure exactly again what the meta is looking like on those. I really don't have a feel for the mid to late game. It's really just the laning phase that seems to be pretty established in my game. So I wanted to make a video covering that, and I'll probably make a video covering those other things when I have a little bit more of a grasp of the game. But feel free to let me know if there's something in particular you're interested in hearing about. And until then, I'll see y'all out there on the battlefield. Peace.